Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm gonna do my first YouTube video. Okay, so as you guys can see, I'm out here trying to do my brows. I already plucked this one out, so this one looks pretty good now. I'm gonna start doing this other one that looks very crusty, musty, dusty. You guys see all the hairs all the way over here, and then look at this one, period. Excuse me. So let's start. I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about myself. My name is Claudia. What else? Nah, just kidding. Okay, so my name is Claudia. I am 23 years old. Why are you laughing? I am a Capricorn, and I like to have fun. I'm a very loud person. I just like having a good time. Whether that be going out on adventures, getting drunk on a Saturday night, having fun with my friends, crying at the club, you know?
Damn, I thought.
Like, all of that, but here I am. I also like to take care of my skin a lot. And doing my brows. I like to do my own brows only because I don't trust people with my brows. But, hey, go figure, right? Do what works best. And I'm saving myself 150 bucks. Just kidding, but here I am. Anyways, yeah. What else was I going to tell you guys? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I should do like a Q&A. But who am I gonna ask? Pardon the interruptions. Yes.
Okay, really?
But here I am once again. What else was I gonna say? I don't know how I'm gonna do it with all the editing yet, but we gonna figure it out together. But yeah. So I'm gonna tell you guys. What was I gonna tell you guys? Oh, so let me tell you guys a funny story. When I think I was like, how old was I? I think I was like 6. I lived at a trailer complex with my parents, and I loved being outside. You know how back then there was no tablets, no computers, no nothing. Like, it was like literally you and your besties outside playing Barbies, running, playing tag, cops and robbers, all that good stuff. That's what it was. And I remember one night, I had just gotten one of my bicycles for Christmas. I was like, you know what? Like, why don't I go outside and I use my bike, you know? Like, as every kid should. Like, if you get a bike for Christmas, you might as well use it. I was like, yeah, I want to go use it. I told my mom, 6-year-old me, I was like, yeah, I'm ready to use it. My mom's like, I can't go outside right now. I need to take care of you. And I was like, it's okay. My friends are outside. Like, I'll go outside. And my little brother was like, if I was 7, I think he was like 5.5, turning 6. No, it was already November. So he was 6. I was going to be, no. Don't mind my math, but just know we were close in age. And my mom was like, okay, but if you're gonna go out, like, your brother has to go outside too. And I was like, yeah. I wasn't gonna take care of him because I was gonna go be me, you know? But point is, I went outside. It was a Friday night. Everyone was outside. My uncle was selling tacos. And I remember I was riding my bike. My uncle had parked his red little truck at one of the ends of the trailas. And I remember riding my bike. And what happens? I lost control of my back. My back kept rattling. Like, that shit kept rolling without me. Like, my legs went blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh my God. Like, in my head, I was like, what the hell is about to happen? So, I tried stopping it. I couldn't. And then I went poof onto my uncle's truck. Like, I literally went poof. And I just remember one of my fingernails, like, lifting up. But because of how hard the impact was, I didn't feel the pain. I didn't feel the blood, nothing. So let me see which finger it is. I think it's this one. Sorry, I don't mean to flip you guys off. But I don't know if you guys can see my finger. Like how my nail goes crooked. Oh no, I think it was this one. I don't know, it's one of the middle fingers. One of my fingers go, like, and my nail will like continue to grow crooked. And every time I go get my nails done with like a nail tech, I have to tell them, like, can you please make sure that this finger, although it's telling you like face that way, like you have to like edge it a little bit, you know, because then it doesn't look great. It looks like they did a terrible job, but it's not them, it's my finger now. And so I remember back to that day, I remember that happened. My mom ran to me and she's like, I told you, Claudia. Instead of being like, are you okay, baby? She was like, I told you, Claudia. She's like, te dije, Claudia. Ay, no, solo esto te podía pasar a ti. My uncle was selling tacos. The whole neighborhood squad was outside. My mom was out here getting me in trouble. Next thing you know, I had to go to the hospital. Why did I have to go to the hospital? Let me stop and think. My finger was bleeding. I had my freaking nail like it was like a little house. Like, you can be like peekaboo bitch, you know, like it was opened up, and I was like, oh my God. My mom said, you can take someone. Here I was. Good old me. One thing about me, I talk to anyone. I love making friends. I remember our neighbors, Stephanie, Moraima, my cousins, my grandma, like everyone was around there. And my mom was like, okay, pick someone, like you can take someone with you to the hospital. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take her. And then I was like, and I'm gonna take her. Like, it was a freaking broken nail, bro. And I wanted to take the whole world with me to the hospital. Why? Because I'm dramatic. And I was like, you know what? Like, screw it. My mom got so tired of me. She was like, oh my God, you can't decide who's gonna go. I'm just taking you. So here I go to the hospital. And they just like took off the whole nail. They're like, it's gonna grow back within like, I think it's like 2 months or so. And I was like, my mom's saying, she's like, ay, ándale, eso es lo que te pasa. Yo te dije que no salieras. And I was like, little me, dude. I was literally so tiny. And I was like, okay. So then I wasn't allowed to go outside because that shit could get infected. And yeah, that was a traumatic experience for me. But I thought that was funny. I think today I'm going to be talking to you guys about all traumatic experiences. Next on the story, I have a little scar up here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me zoom in a little. That one right there. That one right there. That one. That little scar. I think I was a good 5 years old. Before the nail incident, I was like 5 years old. We lived at the trailer parks. These trailer parks were very famous, let me tell you. This was in Mesa, by the way. Okay, so at my trailer place, like, we had escaleras. Teníamos escaleras, like, to get into the house, inside of the house. And then, like, in our trailer, like, we had, it was like, it wasn't a 2-story, but it was like a little, like, you could get down to like the main room, which was my parents' room. Like, you would have to go downstairs to go into the room. And I remember that one day I was running, playing around, and what do? I literally trip over those stairs. And what happens? Claudia's bleeding from the side of her eye. She almost could have said goodbye to her eye, but here it is. Here it is. And I have that scar. You can't really see it anymore, but it's like those little scars like bring you back, like those little memories, like when you were at Traviesa, you know. Me, I was one hell of a baby. My family used to call me Sarah Becker from Cheaper by the Dozen, because I was the one that came up with the ideas to do naughty things. But I would have my armies, my soldiers. My soldiers were my brother, my cousin Brian, and I don't think Joshua, because Joshua was still too tiny. Basically just Brian and my cousin Joshua, because Luis and Vero were older, so they weren't like always with us, but it was always like me, Brian, and my brother, and Luis and Vero sometimes. But I would be like, oh yeah, let's go do this. There we go, we were doing that. But yeah, that was one of the other traumatic experiences for me. And this, I have another scar right here. They used to call me Scarface when I was younger for this scar. I don't know if I have pictures, but like, I have stitches here. I think I had like 12 stitches or 8 stitches, something like that. And I was like, oh my, I thought that scar was gonna stay on my face forever, but it didn't, as you can tell. But little me, I thought it was. Let me tell you what happened. Come with me to this tragic story. Let me introduce you to my mom's younger sister. Her name is Jessica. She at the time was, I was 7 when this happened. 7, 8, 9. I think she was 9 years old. Yeah, I think she was 9. We were at my grandma's house. I was living there. We were living there. This was like when my parents separated. So me, my mom, and my little brother were living with my grandma. So it was like, there was a full house, you know, like everyone was there. So me and Jessica were like always close in age. So we were always playing together, doing everything together. We were always playing Barbies. Mind you, the luxuries of when your parents split up, you get double the presents here, double the niceness over here, over there, like everywhere. So whenever I would go to my dad's on the weekend, like I would always come back with new toys, new clothes, new shoes, new something always, or with money. And I remember that weekend I didn't go with my dad because my dad was working. And I remember me and Jessica were just like, oh, let's jump. You know, my grandma was always that strict grandma, like, no, you cannot jump, like you're gonna fall, blah, 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 blah. My grandma was like literally so strict. Like she had handbars like on her windows, like metal bars, you know, so like that you wouldn't be able to leave, you know. Not that we were, but I don't know, she just had it like that. And we were like, okay. So we were jumping on my mom's bed. We were jumping, and then there was a dog outside the neighborhood. We were jumping, and then Jessica goes, look, there's a dog outside. And I was like, no, there's not. What did my dumbass do? I was jumping. Here I go, jumping. And I go, and Genesis, that's her middle name, Jessica, what does she do? Whew, she pushed me to the window. When I tell you, I was this close once again to chopping out my whole eyeball because the glass broke. And now that I work at a glass company, I know what type of glass that was. It wasn't no tempered glass. It was annealed glass. That annealed glass literally had, like, it broke into like big pieces. It sliced my cheek. Like my cheek, like, you know what salami looks like? Like two flaps everywhere. That's how my cheek looked. My cheek was split open from here to here. It was like what is that called? That makeup, FX makeup, SFX makeup. I don't remember what it's called, but it was that type of makeup. Yeah, special effects makeup. Here I was, like with my cheek open. I ran out. I panically like started screaming, Mom. Oh my God. We go to the bathroom. My mom starts crying. She's looking at me. She's like, oh my God. And I'm like, why is no one calling 911? Like, girl, I'm finna die. Like, what are you doing? Next thing you know, I just hear the ambulance coming. Like they had to take me to the hospital. No shit, huh? Like they had to take me to the hospital. And well, like when your parents are divorced, like if someone's going to the hospital, you have to call both parents right there and then. So my mom calls my dad and she tells her what happened. And my dad's like, well, why is she going to the hospital? Like, why did it happen? Blah, 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 blah. Like, what was the reason? But my mom was like, I'm not gonna argue, whatever. And turns out I left to the hospital. When I was about to get into the ambulance, Jessica, like, she didn't do nothing. She denied everything, and she still denies it up to this damn day when I know what I experienced. I might bring her into my future podcasts, like my future little YouTube videos in the future, and have her explain her point of view, because I still don't believe it. Like, girl, I lived it. Like, how you gonna tell me it wasn't you when you pushed me, when you did push me? Anyways, I was about to get on the ambulance. Mind you, I was laying down on, what are those things called? The gurneys? I was on a gurney. No, is it a gurney or the little... no, is it the one that has the rollies? That's a stretcher? Okay, well, a stretcher. I got onto one of those, and they were putting me up, and then Jessica's like, oh my God, like, you're gonna be fine, don't worry. Like, everything's gonna be okay. I was like, it's okay. Mind you, I was 7 years old. I thought I was gonna die because my cheek was open. I was like, it's okay, don't worry. I was like, if I don't make it back, you get to have all my Barbies. I told her, you can have all my Barbies, because she didn't really have a lot of Barbies. Like, she had Barbies, but she didn't have, like, that many, like, how I did. I had a shit ton of Barbies, let me tell you. Like, I was a Barbie girl. I'm a Barbie girl. But I had a lot of Barbies. And I was like, you get to keep them if I, like, go up in heaven, you know? And she's like, okay, thank you. Mind you, I was here on the freaking stretcher thinking I was gonna die, telling her, like, you can have all my property. My property are my Barbies. My Barbie house. My toys. Like, all of it. I was telling her, you can keep it. So what happens? I go to the hospital. They have to stitch me up. They stitched me up. I remember vividly what they had to do. I was like this, on a pillow, like this. They had this huge sheet. They put it over my face. They, like, cut a hole, like, right here, just so that they could see, like, the incision, you know? Like, the cover it was. And I just, like, I felt like the stitches coming in and out. Obviously, like, I'm pretty sure they had to put anesthesia on me. Anesthesia? How do you say it? Anesthesia. Like, they had to give me that so I wouldn't, like, panic or anything. I just remember my mom being there with me, and, like, I was like this, and, like, I remember them stitching it. It looked ugly, bro. I was already brown. Now imagine just, like, black strings, like, on my face, like, because you're not allowed to take out the stitches until, like, after 2 weeks, I think it was. And I was, like, crying. I was like, oh my God. And while we were at the hospital, because I had to recover, like, they had to leave. I was at the hospital, like, for the day, I think. Jessica calls my mom. Did Claudia make it? I was speechless. I told myself, she literally had the audacity to call the hospital and ask, like, did Claudia make it? Instead of saying, like, is she okay? Like, did she leave to heaven or not? Like, I'm trying to take all her toys already. No. I was like, when I was a little girl, I didn't really care. But now, like, I look back to it and I'm like, damn, like, she was an evil little girl. My dad was furious when he found out what happened, because my dad was like, you scarred my daughter for life. Like, because the scar looks super big. Imagine, the face is small, like, you have a smaller face, and then you have, like, a huge scar on your face, and it's, like, it looks permanent, you know? Well, it is permanent, but, you know? And my dad was pissed. I ended up going back, and then, like, fast forward to, like, a week and a half, I think, I went to my dad's side of the family. My godmother, mi madrina Mela, and my cousin Luis, we were in the bathroom, and I told her, I was like, look, one of the stitches came out. So what does she do? She's like, do you want me to take out the other ones? And I was like, yeah. So my godmother goes, like, she grabs tweezers, bruh. She grabs tweezers, and she goes like this. And I was like, oh, I could feel it, because, like, it's in my skin, you know? And she started laughing when she was pulling them out. My cousin Luis was laughing. We were all laughing. I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is so funny. But now, that scar is, like, literally about to leave my face. It's, like, right here. Yes, it's right there, but, like, it's so tiny. And I feel like it's been with me for such a long time. Like, I think this happened in 2007. Happened in 2007. From 2007 to 2017, that's 10 years. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I've had this scarf with me for 16 years. So now, like, I look at it and I'm like, damn, like, who is she? Like, that scar still makes her look like that bomb ass girl, you know, like I don't care, like I'm pretty no matter what. So I told myself, you gotta love your scars. And if people call you Scarface, like you can't let that affect you, because little kids are assholes sometimes. Like they can be rude. And I remember I was like, call me Scarface. You want to call me Scarface? Go ahead, call me Scarface. Like the honor you're giving me to call me Scarface. Like, do you guys know who Scarface was? That ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. That's who Scarface was. And I was like, call me Scarface. I don't care. And only one of my friends, like in elementary, still calls me Scarface, but he's in prison, so goodbye. But yeah, those are like one of the 3 stories I told you guys. I told you guys 3 stories. There's still another one, but I don't know if I should say it. What scar? I'm gonna say it right now. I have a scar in the back of my head that I think this was when I was like 3 years old. Bro, why do I keep going down and down and down at the timeline? I should just start from the smallest to when I got older. Anyways, I was like 3 years old. I went to Mexico with my uncle. My parents did not want to let me go. Well, my mom didn't, because she's like, how is my little baby gonna go to Mexico without me? And my uncle's like, no, like, come on, let her go. Like, she's gonna have so much fun. She's gonna go meet Mexico, blah, 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 blah. I was only 3. My mom still let me go. My dad let me go. So here I am, 3-year-old me, going in the plane, like, living life. I got there. I loved living in Mexico. I think I lived in Mexico for, like, I want to say, like, maybe it was, like, 3 months, maybe. I think it was like 3 months. I'm not too sure, but I think it was like 3 months. And I remember one time we got locked out of the house, and there was a little window. I kid you not, it was probably this wide, this long, probably. Yeah, it's like this long, this wide, and there was no way for us to get in. So what did my uncle tell me? He's like, Claudia, listen, you're very smart. You're gonna have to go in through that window. You're gonna, like, be careful. There's a step down there. I'm gonna throw you through the top. There's a step. Make sure when we toss you in, you land on the step. Don't throw yourself, because the step is gonna be there, you know? And I'm like, here I am, like, sí, tío, no se preocupe. Like, it'll be fine. Like, I'll be good. Mind you, I was 3 years old, bro. And here, my uncle, mi tío todo salvaje, he pulls my little body, up here, and he tells me, be careful. I fall, and I cut open the back of my head. Oh my God. It went down in hell. I started crying, and he's like, try to open the door, because I was man down, and they were still locked out, so it was like double the paranoia, you know, like, they couldn't get to me. The house was locked. So I was like, and I was on the floor, like, crying. I finally opened the door, and I started crying. My uncle sees me. Instead of taking me to the hospital, what did they do? They healed me at home. Oh my God. But when they told my parents, my mom was like, no, I want my daughter back, blah, 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 blah. And now I have, like, a scar in the back of my head. I don't think you guys can see the scar, though, because it's black, and it's literally, like, long. It's just like soft skin in the back of my head. And every time I show that to my uncle, he's like, that's not from that. I'm like, oh yes, sir, it is. I was like, that's from that. And he just starts laughing, and I'm like, where in your head, like, did you think that was a good idea? Like, I was 3 years old, and he's like, well, we had no other way to go in. And I was like, so you thought the best idea was to toss a 3-year-old through the window on top and then say, oh, like, open the door for us, and like, watch out, because there's a step down there. Like make it make sense, you know? But it was funny. Anyways, I think that's enough traumatic experiences for one day. So thank you guys for watching, and I don't know what I'll do my next video on, but this is actually kind of fun. I felt like I was talking to myself the whole time, because, like, literally no one's looking at me right now besides myself and 3 screens. I see myself on my phone, the mirror up there, and this mirror. Oh, see? You guys see where I'm seeing, right? Yeah. But there. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys soon again.